Welcome to the official meeting of the Murfreesboro Rotary Club. We're in for a special treat today, so I hope you don't mind that we started early, just a few minutes early. We are now ready for the prayer, pledge, and four-way test.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to be Rotarians. We ask that you will give us strength and wisdom to serve others. We pray for those who are sick and suffering. Bless our food and the work that we will do. In Christ's name, amen. We'll pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test. First, is it the truth? Second, fair to all concerned. Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. We do have some guests here today, which is good. Patience, I'm going to get you to introduce your guest first. And Warren Dickinson is a guest, but not a guest. So he won't be after a few minutes. So wave your hand and introduce your guest. And guess who had two makeups in Destin, Florida? Would anybody like to guess? Ray Lowry did. So thanks for making up, Ray. And if you didn't see it last week, Rotary has a whole page in here of our awards and celebration if you would like to look at it. So thank you all for volunteering for prayer, pledge, and four-way test and to help at the desk. And guess who's up next?
Miss Nancy, we have an award for you that we did not give at the time that we were celebrating the awards. And this award is in recognition for your participation in the Polio Plus fundraiser this year for the year of 2020-2021 under the administration of our past president, Mr. Phil King. So we would like to recognize you at this time. All right. Now, may I remind you about your carafes in the center of the table. And as you know, Coach Stock, we're celebrating MTSU Big this month. So please be generous, and thanks to each of you for your contribution as we continue to support eliminating polio worldwide. Now, we really don't have a lot of sports activities going on. The Olympics, we've already celebrated, and we're getting ready for Special Olympics. However, I've asked our past president if he will come forward and our assistant district governor, because at this time, in lieu of the sports report, we are going to induct our new member, Mr. Warren, who is here today. So I will call him forward as well. And before we do that, Phil King is going to invite you to join us this year for Foundation Football. So you have that information on your table, please, and we would like to encourage you to participate in that this year. Past President Phil King.
Thank you, Gloria. Feels like old times me being up here. I know what you're thinking. Good God Almighty, will he not go away? No, that's a joke. Thank you for laughing. Seriously, we're bringing back foundation football. And we haven't had foundation football for 2 years. Thank you, COVID. But we are going to reinstate that. The goal of foundation football is very simple. It's to help you, it's to help raise money for the Rotary Foundation, for Rotary International, and any monies that you get to donate go towards your Paul Harris Fellowship. I've placed on the table today a sign-up sheet. I just need your name, really. I need to know what your college team is and in what professional football team you want to pull for. Your email address would be fantastic. Also, the other piece of paper are the rules and some information that I got from our other member, William Dix, who used to head this up for us in years past. You can see how much money that we raised as a club for the foundation in the past. At one point, we were over $8,000, and then it dropped down to $4,000. So I'd like to, hopefully we'd beat that number again. Probably that was because the teams we all picked weren't scoring a lot of points. Here's how it works. If you choose MTSU as your college team and the Titans as your pro team, and MTSU wins the ball game 10-0. Unfortunately, the Titans lose 0-10. Your donation for that week, although you do not donate that week, but your tally will be $5 for the win and 10 cents for every point. So 10 points times a dime is $1. And the Titans didn't win. They didn't score any points, so it's nothing that week. But after that week of football, you're up to $6. And then so you wait and see what happens the next week for MTSU and the Titans. So for every win that your teams get is $5. And for every point they score, your two teams, is a dime. And I'll be reporting on this each week. I'll have the numbers. All I need is you just fill in your name and what your two teams are that you'd like to have for foundation football. And at the end of the football season in February, we'll let you know what your total donation to the Rotary Foundation will be. Thank you very much.
Now, Phil King is rocking this shirt because he wants to make an announcement about his college team. And we're going to give him permission to do this because it's really significant to the SEC.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm wearing my shirt because it's Coach Stockstill speaking. I thought, well, if I'm having a college coach speak, why not wear my college team? And y'all heard me talk about it for quite some time. Unfortunately, I wasn't here after the College World Series when two SEC teams, Vanderbilt and Mississippi State, went at it in the College World Series. It was a heck of a series. If you love the game of baseball, you needed to be watching the College World Series because you watched a bunch of soon major league players battle it out. But for those of you that don't know, no college, and I'll take that back. Mississippi State has never won a national title of any sort. Whereas if you remember 2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 months, I'll get it right. Third attempt, MTSU had a track star who won a national title. So MTSU has won a national title in something, whereas Mississippi State has not. And as a fan, I'll be honest with you, I laughed, I cried. I wish my father was alive to see this, because how many times did he take me to go see a baseball game, a football game, something like that. And so there's nothing like, taking your kids or grandkids to a ball game because trust me, as somebody whose father did take him to all these games, those memories, they matter. I don't remember the scores. I remember some of the wins. I remember a lot of the losses, but taking your kid to a game is a way to go. So thank you, Gloria.
It is my privilege today to induct Warren Dickinson. Please come forward. Fellow Rotarians, it is my privilege and pleasure today to welcome into membership our newest member, Warren Dickinson, whose name was proposed by Phil King. The proposal has been reviewed in accordance with our club constitution and bylaws. Warren, we now proceed to admit you into membership of the Rotary Club of Murfreesboro and the friendship of Rotary throughout the world. It has already been explained to you the ideal of Rotary is service. Our principal motto is service above self, and the objection of the club and all Rotary clubs is to encourage and foster this ideal as a basis of worthy enterprise. You are to share in this effort. You have been approved for membership in this club because we believe you as a worthy representation of your vocation, interested in the ideals of Rotary and willing to do your share in translating these ideals into action. You have agreed to accept the obligations of membership in this club and obey this club's constitution and bylaws. You have the pleasure, I have the pleasure of asking your proposer to pin the Rotary emblem, in which we hope you wear with pride. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Murfreesboro. Fellow Rotarians, I'm happy to present to you Rotarian Warren Dickinson as our newest member.
Congratulations, Warren. Welcome aboard. We're excited for your presence and your participation in all that we have planned. So thank you so much. You're no longer a visitor. Now, it's football season, y'all. Well, and this time of year in our home, in the Bonner household, we cannot wait for the first kickoff. But it's very special today to have a guest, the head coach at MTSU. And Coach, I just want to say before you're formally introduced, I have a card. Now, I would like to think that Coach Stock just sent this only to me in the city of Murfreesboro, but it's just really special. It came about a month ago. How cool is that? The head coach of MTSU to take the time to send a handwritten note to, I don't know if it's the Lifetime fans or the BRA fans, or I have no idea, but can you imagine just taking the moment to do this to within our community? So at this time, I'm going to ask AD Chris Massaro to officially introduce our MTSU head football coach, Rick Stockstill.
Thanks, Gloria. And I've had the honor and privilege really to introduce Rick on multiple occasions, and just kind of want to stress a couple things that, you know, there's 140 schools in FBS spread out all over the country. And we're lucky enough to have one of them right here in Murfreesboro. And we're lucky enough as a club to have Coach Stock kind of in the middle of training camp to take time to come speak to us. So Rick, we appreciate that out of those 140 schools in FBS, he's the 5th longest tenured coach in college football. And so with Frank Solich, he moved up a notch this summer with Frank Solich retiring at Ohio University. And so I think you're behind Kurt Ferenc and I don't know, a couple others, obviously, but so he's moving up that ladder. So he's been in the community a long time. And it's like, what can I tell you guys that you don't know and you haven't read? You know, and we can all look at his record. And I spoke last week about the academics and the impact that he has on the young men. And so I would tell you this, that of all the coaches we have,
I would say that his group of athletes are probably more loyal to his coaching staff, to their coaching staff, and vice versa than any sport we have. In any sport like I've really been around in my whole athletic career, he's got a tremendous relationship with his players. And I think that's what drives him as much as anything. So you need to know that about him. We're so lucky to have him in our community. And then I was asking around a little bit this morning for a little factoid. What does Coach Stock, what could I say that people don't know? And thought about the family, and I think y'all are pretty familiar with Rick's wife, Sarah, that one of the best coaches' wives we'd have, and his son, Brent, who is a star quarterback at Siegel High School, was a star quarterback at MTSU, and is now a star wide receiver coach for us. He married a former MTSU track athlete as well, and they have a little granddaughter. So Rick's a proud granddad. And then his other child, his daughter Emily Stockstill, is a graduate from the University of Alabama and very successful as well. So two fabulous kids, fabulous family. Can't say enough about them. And then the other thing that I found a little bit interesting today, that I wasn't aware of the depth of this, but I was told by little Birdie that you have maybe the finest baseball card collection in Murfreesboro. So he is an avid sports fan and loves sports history and memorabilia and those kind of things. So I was not aware of the depth of your baseball card collection until just a few minutes ago. Yeah, you know who the Birdie was. So without any further ado, Coach Rick Stockstill.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Gloria. And you were the only person that I think I remember writing that letter to. I may be wrong, but I think you were the only one. And then thanks to Mark Owens for talking about my baseball cards. If anybody wants to buy them, Sarah would love for you to buy them because they've taken up a closet. So got a lot of good Mickey Mantles in there. So if anybody's interested, she would love to sell them to you. But no, I'm excited to be here. We didn't get this opportunity last year, as we all know, but we've started practice. We've only had, it seems like we've been in it a lot longer than what we have, but we've only had 10 practices, so far. And with the new NCAA rules this year, you're allowed 25 practices. So still got 15 left to go before your first game. And I'm really, really pleased with where we are as a team right now. And I like what we've done since we came back in January, our winter workout program, our spring practices, our summer conditioning and everything that we had, spring practice, summer camp, August last year, all that got eliminated, as you know. So I like where we're at right now as a team. And I'll talk for a little bit. And if you guys have any questions about anything, about, our team, about what's going on with the transfer portal, college athletics, I'll answer them the best I can. But again, I like where we're at. We've got a lot of new players. And we've got 10 players that are on the team that should not be on the team because last year the NCAA let guys have a free year. So we've got 10 guys back that we should not have back. That's going to really help us. Obviously, they're good players. And so we've got more depth this year than we've ever had. Knock on wood that we can stay as healthy as we can because of this depth that we have. So we got a new quarterback, a transfer from North Carolina State, Bailey Hockman. He and Chase Cunningham, who is a returning player off our team, are in good competition right now. So I feel really, really good about our quarterback position or our quarterback situation, where we're at. Running back Amir Razul and Martell Petaway last year were Florida State and West Virginia grad transfers that both of them opted out last year. And probably if it were me, with their health and family's health situation, you kind of see why they did it. But both those guys decided to come back, and really, really good players. So I like where we're at quarterback. I like where we're at running back because of that and the guys that we've got coming back also. In our offensive line, we signed 2 junior college guys that are both here that will give us depth. We signed a transfer from University of Georgia, Naturi Johnson, and a transfer from University of Arizona in Jamari Williams. So we signed 4 offensive linemen that are going to give us some maturity. Naturi, the Georgia lineman, he played a lot of defensive line in his 3 years at Georgia, as well as offensive line. So I can sit up here and say, if you're good enough to play defensive line in the SEC, you're good enough to play the offensive line in Conference USA. So really excited about him. I think all 4 of those guys are going to help us, coupled with what we've got coming back already on our team. I think our wide receivers, we've got 3 guys of those 10 that are back this year that shouldn't be back: Jimmy Marshall, CJ Wyndham, and Jaron Pierce, because they were afforded an extra year. So I think our receivers are as talented as any time since I've been here. There's size, there's speed, there's experience, there's toughness. It's a really good group of receivers. So offensively, I'm really, really excited about where we're at. We've got a new offensive coordinator and quarterback coach in Brent Dearman. And then, like Chris said, Brent is the new wide receiver coach. So I like the camaraderie. I like the changes that we're making offensively. What you'll see probably different, probably the big thing that'll be noticeable to you guys schematically wise is you'll see more 11-person. Well, you'll see more tight end, H-back, fullback, 2-back type personnel groupings, as before you've seen the last several years. You've seen more 4-wide, 1-back personnel, which is 10 personnel. So you'll see more of a tight end and more of a H-back, fullback presence than what you've seen the last several years. We still, I didn't think, we talked about being a up-tempo, fast-paced tempo team the last couple of years, but I didn't think we were. Hopefully you'll see that change, that we are going to be a faster tempo team than what we've been the last couple of years, as well as the different personnel groupings. So we've got to, we didn't run the ball very well with the running back position the last couple of years. We had a quarterback the last couple of years that was really dynamic, really special as a runner. And we've got to get back to the running backs running the ball. And I feel like you'll see that we'll be able to do that this year with the offensive line that we have, with the running backs we have, and then the quarterbacks that we have are more, throwers than runners. So really, really excited about our offense. I think it's going to be a chance that we didn't score many points last year. We got to score. In this day and time, college football, you got to score. And so hopefully we're going to be more productive in that area as well. Defensively, really, we've got everybody back except one, Rockavian Poydras, a defensive lineman. He went through spring practice and really came to me right there at the end of it when spring ball was over. And he was one of those guys that could have come back for a 6th year that the NCAA allowed him, but he ran out of gas, and he'd suffered some injuries, and just what the nature of that position, what he suffered from an injury standpoint. So he's the only one defensively that, could have come back that didn't come back. So I feel really good about our defensive line. There's good experience there. We got bigger, we got stronger inside because we had a off-season program, we had a spring, we had a summer. So I like where we are there. Linebackers, everybody's back, and we added Geronte Davis, a junior college guy, who they played in the spring, and they won the national championship. So I feel really good about him. And DQ Thomas played with basically one arm last year. Andrew Leak basically played with one arm. Jalen Davis basically played with one arm. Jarrett Campbell played with one arm because he had a broken wrist. So those guys, a ton of respect for what they went through and sacrificed last year. We were very, very average at linebacker, and not making excuses, just telling you what it is. But when you play linebacker, when you play defense with one arm, it's pretty tough. Those guys went through the season with that. Then they had off-season shoulder surgeries, elbow surgeries at the end of the season, and now they're back healthy. So I'm fired up about those guys. Our defensive backs, the secondary, Reed Blankenship is back. He shouldn't be back, but he is. Was very, very, very average last year. You all know his story. He had the season-ending injury in 2019 where he broke his leg. Then COVID hit. He couldn't rehab. He didn't have spring practice. He spent 199 days in quarantine. He got out, the week of the first game, and he was never the same. Now was able to go through, like I just said a million times, the off-season, spring, summer. He's healthy and he's ready to go. So I like our secondary. I like where we're at. We lost our kicker, Cruz Holt. He could have come back, but he didn't. He went on, so we signed a College of Charleston kicker in the transfer portal, and I'm hopeful that he is what we think he is. But if you guys know them kickers, man, it's a little bit different. You don't know what you're going to get, but we got good competition there with him and Rankin. Those guys are really competing hard now. So I like where we're at. Our punter's back. And so I'm fired up about this team. I love where we're at right now after 10 days. I'm excited about this season. I'm excited about where we're at as a team, from a mindset, from a man, we got something to prove. And excuse me for saying man, but we've got something to prove. Our staff has got something to prove. We're hungry. You hear coaches or teams talk about having a chip on their shoulder. We got a boulder on our shoulder. And I hope you come watch this team. I hope you buy tickets because it's going to be exciting. And I'm really, really anxious to get out there and play September 4th. It's first home game, and then we're on the road for a couple games, and then we're back home and all that. So got a challenging schedule, but I'm looking forward to it. And, like I said, we've only got 5 games, so come to them. These guys are going to play the game the right way, how it's supposed to be played. They're going to play with great effort and represent this community and this school in the right way. So I'm excited about them. And, Gloria told me I had 3 to 5 minutes to talk, and, my watch stopped. I didn't charge it up last night. So I think I've only talked about a minute. So we got a couple minutes here that open it up for you guys. Any questions that you have on anything? Yes, sir. I think, I think I think right now it's probably fit, it could be, and it could hurt you just because, it gives you an opportunity, gives us an opportunity to look out there and see who you can get, if you can fill a need. But in the same respect, you sign this high school kid, and most of our guys, well, none of our guys are recruited out of high school. They're not turning down a Power 5 school to come here. So that means no Power 5s wanted them. But after a year, after 2 years of developing him, now, that 240-pound offensive lineman now is 290 pounds. Now he becomes attractive to a Power 5 school, and you've invested 2 years in him, and now you could potentially lose him. So I think it kind of works both ways. I worry about the high school kid. I don't know how, well, I know they're not going to be recruited as much as they used to be, because for that fact that you go recruit a high school kid, you invest 2 years in him, in developing and getting him ready, and now he can leave to go to the portal. You've wasted 2 years. You sign a portal guy, you got him. He can't transfer because you're allowed to one-time transfer. Now you got him. Now, yeah, he could go somewhere else again, but he's got to sit. So I think schools are going to lean more to recruiting the portal because of that. So there's going to be a good mixture. If you can sign 25 kids, I'm going to bet that people are going to sign 8 to 10 high school kids, 8 to 10 portal kids, and a handful of junior college kids. Yes.
Going back, talking about transfer portal, Auburn last week had a 2-year starter who decided he wouldn't leave the school, got into the transfer portal. 2 years ago, coach said it felt like transfer portal would be like free agency in the NFL. So when do you stop looking at? Are you constantly looking at considering transfer portal when you and leadership possibly says this is my team and this is who we're going to play with on Saturday night?
It's moving forward. May 1st, this coming May 22, May 1st, 22 is the deadline that a kid has to declare if he's going to go to the portal. He can go in the portal May 2nd, but he has to sit out a year. Okay. These guys are coming out now, like 2 weeks ago, 2 days ago. I don't know what their agenda is, what their plan is. Yeah, we could take him, but he can't play this year if we have a scholarship available. So I'm sure there are some schools that are looking at that, yeah, we'll take this Auburn guy knowing that he can't play for us this year. So this past year, July 1st was the deadline. And I mean, you get email every day that 50, 60, 25, 30, 40 kids a day are in the portal. And, at one point, and I'm not going to say it right because I can't remember it, but there were 2,500. I think it was, I know I'm wrong on that. I'll put it in percentage perspective. Say there was 2,500 kids that went in, the football players that went in the portal. Okay. There was only I'm going to screw it up. I'm going to say it like this, because this is what I can remember. There were 23 or 24,000 athletes, female, male, of all sports, that went in the portal. As of August 1st, there were still 13,000 of those kids in the portal because there's not enough places for them to go. And everybody thinks that, yeah, I'm going to go in the portal and I got a home. And that's not the case. And, you guys know the grass is still green, and so I think kids, I don't think it'll slow down, but I think guys are going to think a little bit more before, coach yelled at me, I'm going to get in the portal. and find me a home to go to, because it doesn't work that way. That's good. Anything else? Again, I appreciate, yes, sir.
Looking at your schedule, what's coming up. Last year, you had to play people twice. Any of your upcoming opponents who have graduated a lot of players, or you think it could be a lot tougher than they were last year? Like, for example, I noticed homecoming to Southern Mississippi that they're brand new head coach. I just didn't know if you have a chance to look ahead and see if they're going to be a team that's a lot tougher than they were last year.
I think Conference USA is always a little bit of an unknown every year. I think more so this year, because so many of us went to the portal and their teams changed. Like Western Kentucky, they signed 24, they got 24 transfer portal guys. So you don't know how that's going to change their team. Obviously, it's going to change it, but how much you don't know. We had whatever it was, 10 or 12 portal guys. So our team has changed. Every team in the conference, I don't think you'll know that until you start playing and you see how their teams changed. And then there's so many of us in the conference that the quarterback position changed. And as you guys all know, I don't care if it's high school, college, pro, that's if you got one of those, you got a chance to win on every Saturday. And, so until you get out there and start playing and seeing guys, it's hard to predict that right now. That's good. I appreciate you. Thanks so much for having me, and have a great rest of your day.
Coach, thank you so much. We have made, if you'll come back up, we have made a donation to end polio in your honor, and also recognition of you speaking today. You are deep into practice, and you have made Rotary Murfreesboro a priority. We thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
For
Rose.
all that you do. All right, thank you. Let's give him another hand. And as you know, the most gratifying feeling that an athlete can have is to see the fans in the stands. So please remember to support our team, MTSU Blue Raiders. 5 games, that's all we're asking for, is for you to support us this season. I want to also say to Mr. Donnie here, who is our guest, his son is in Afghanistan, and we know about and understand the seriousness of the unrest there. We're going to keep you and your family in our thoughts and prayers. So please know that we are with you at this time, okay? All right, are we ready to celebrate something? Yes. Oh, wow. Okay, and we're in for a challenge, aren't we, Nancy? So let's please consider and participate, because it really does help a good cause. Now, in celebration for your continued support, you've got some flowers there on your table, and you may know of someone that you would like to share them with. Please feel free to carry them with you today, or the ones here at the head table. Now, if you cannot find anything to celebrate, we have something for you. So, Mr. Frank, could you go to the celebrate page for us, the slide? And we are ready for you to share with us, Ben and John, what is it that we're celebrating this week?
I think it says it's up there, but it says John pretty sure the 19th is national. So you ship, okay. That's a good word for it. Yeah. The 21st is National Senior Citizens Day. Last but not least, on the 21st of August is National Honeybee Awareness Day. You guys know about honeybees? The other awareness is prior to the Rotary starting, if you catch eye contact with our Glory of Honor, you do.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Thank you for doing such a great job. Now, Frank, we have one more slide, and that's just to help us to know what's coming up next with Rotary. Thursday, August 26th, each of the board members and officers got a list of the meetings for this year. Now, it was announced that it was going to be at the Main Street building, which is adjacent to the MTSU Historic Preservation Center. Unfortunately, one of the customers leaving Marinas drove into the building. So we have had to find a new location until Farah Brothers repair that building. So I have arranged for us to conduct that meeting next Thursday at Bradley Academy in the auditorium. There's plenty of space there, plenty of parking for each of us to feel safe. So we will convene at 5 o'clock at Bradley Academy Museum and Cultural Arts Center. Now, also make note, Labor Day, we've got a big weekend. We're celebrating MTSU True Blue downtown Friday Night Live. So we're going to kick off football season in a big, big way. We'll have AD Massaro cheerleaders there, Lightning, all of the favorites, getting ready for the game day that next day. So as the tradition would have it, we do not have a meeting the day after a holiday. And then make note for Tuesday, November 9th, our district governor, Michael Babb, will be in attendance with us then. So at this time, remember to go in peace, go in love, and go in unity.